Hi, I'm Joshua Hayward and dynamicmindcreativeheart.com, and you can uh, check out our Facebook business page at the same title. Um, and welcome to Straight from the Source. My next edition is following the first video for calling for Rebirth of America, which really is like calling for a rebirth of ourselves and a rebirth of the whole planet, changing humanity's vibrational connection with the earth, aligning our human connection with the earth is what is actually needed. External work is good, but that'll come along and take place when enough of us come together and shift our frequencies into alignment. Then we can get stuff to happen, okay? With acceptance comes choice. Choice, and I'm talking about healthy choice, will be empowered by acceptance of who we are through meditative process and changing our behaviors, hence changing our behaviors in our external circumstances. Okay, so this second in the series of at least three is entitled The Death of America, April 2014. And indeed, some transits are coming that we need to really wake up to and get hip to and embrace. But so we're in the spirit of change. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to read a prepared statement. I've never done that before, and I'll editorialize a little bit in between lines sometimes, just to sort of comment on what I'm talking about, and then I'll talk a little bit more after I've read that, and then we're going to move on to the third video, which will delineate the transits coming up in May that will heavily hit upon the United States. Okay, so the death of the United States, both as a country and of a way of life. And, you know, it really is a way of life. Western democracy, capitalism, all that stuff. Multinational corporate world, which was generated by the United States lead and has been picked up around the world. So the death of the way of life in our country is imminent. And we have all seen it and felt it, and everyone I've met or encountered in one way or another knows it on some kind of level, unconscious, subconscious levels. But, you know, you talk with people and you look around and what's happening, you look at the internet, you look at TV, or maybe might be better not to look at TV. That's got to do with your own sensibilities and what you can handle. Everyone knows this. Everybody's talking about what in the heck is going to happen. And we've been seeing this since September 11th, 2001, that the events in New York City really changed everything very powerfully at that point. And even before then, people were wondering about, you know, what are we going to do? You know, the millennium change came in 2000 and everything kind of moved on. Y2K was a non-event, which I predicted, by the way back then. But you can see that people are very antsy and frantic and reactive and stuff like that. So I'm going to continue with my statement. People are reacting to an awareness of this upcoming event, whether it be subconscious or unconscious or whatever. Choices are being made mainly through unconscious reaction to death. And that means like death of a way of life, as I mentioned before. These choices are affecting the quality of our lives profoundly, if covertly. Yes, these choices, the way to interact with people and the circumstances of our lives, being triggered by this reactive kind of weird energy. Undercurrents of fear are projected onto external circumstances of our lives in all kinds of ways, and some of them, in a positive way, are random acts of kindness, which we're seeing. Some people are really getting that we need to be kind to one another. But I'd also say that the vast majority here are experienced as polemical condemnation and vicious finger pointing. A lot of negativity is really uncalled for. In fact, it's the gotcha, I gotcha culture. Somebody makes a mistake, somebody else is pointing a finger, gotcha, and that's what it's all about. And I just want to ask, how is that going to benefit anybody? How is that going to change our culture? How is it going to do anything except take us down? Okay, I don't want to get on my soapbox too much here, but see, a lot of you are thinking some of the same things that I'm talking about here, and I know that you know what I'm talking about. So get back to it. I'd like to point out that not only are we divided amongst each other like never before, but we're divided within our individual selves. See, that's what's happening. You may not believe this, but divisiveness in today's society is actually a collective reflection, albeit a highly exaggerated reflection, perhaps, of our what? Our inner dividedness on individual levels, okay? And that's correct. When we look out and see the hate, see the confusion, see the vast incompetence, not only in government, but just about everything that you kind of look at, systems failure and infrastructure failure, we're actually seeing ourselves, aren't we? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Macrocosm, microcosm. As above, so below. The big whole, the small part right here, the individual. Now that may seem strange to you, but it's true. It's something to think about. And here's the catch. How we feel about what we are seeing tells us how much we need an inner shift. So the reactive stuff that we see in our lives, if we're reacting to this stuff, that means we need the inner shift. We see the reflections of the world as it is, how we've actually created it. It's supposed to bring us back inside and go, at least now the information is out. It's clear that that's what needs to happen. We need to take responsibility for our own microcosmic life, our own world. So the emotional charge is what's important. If you're not really reacting, the charge isn't as intense. That means you're becoming more one with yourself, and that's going to create a better vibe, sending that out to other people and changing humanity. Okay. The more we experience painful resistance to the horrendous changes to our world, the more we need to raise our own vibration. See it, say it again. There it is. Quite a task? Probably so. But believe it or not, it's the only game in town. That is, if you're coming at things from a spiritual perspective. If you're frustrated with politics and going to town council meetings and seeing your vote go to somebody that you don't really care about, and seeing a bunch of candidates. If you're fed up with these externalized ways or even just the business, like trying to complete yourself and be whole just through finance and outer world manipulation of material resources. Okay, if you're trying to look and say that that's not working, then you're shifting to a burgeoning spiritual perspective. Okay, that's cool. So in that case, you're going to need to be able to do inner work and embrace um, who you are on the inside and what you're creating in the world and the outside. So external change will come. It will follow internal shifting. Sure, it's probably true that shifting, a complete shift to the green economy is the best or perhaps the only solution to the world's economic and other self-destructive woes. Okay, but that green shift isn't going to happen. We've seen, no, I don't want to get down on Obama or anything, but it basically, where is the movement towards green that we expected? Well, I think it's going to come when we embrace that internal shift on the inner, on individual and group, and then community level spreading outward. It's doing the inner work. That's what's going to change the outer work. Yes, the best way to generate structural transformation is for as many, now listen, as many individuals as possible to commit to an inner shift in consciousness, to raise their vibration. Such a commitment and follow through could empower the rebirth of a certainly dying country and hence positively affect the whole world. So what I'm asking for and what and I'm asking it for myself, but I'm asking it for others. I mentioned this in the call to action in my first video, the Rebirthing America. I'm asking for us, as many individuals as possible, maybe moving into groups, to commit to a very frequent and deep meditative process, and that we might join in groups of individuals, and we can, or perhaps, we can do stuff just individually. I'm open to being called. I can work with people. Maybe we can set up conferences. I'm not really set up yet for internet, webinar and stuff like that. I'm not sure that's the best venue for Dynamic Mind, Creative Heart, but I'm certainly asking for local people to begin and initiate a circle here in this community, and maybe it'll vibrate outward from there. Certainly doing personal work with me, if you're not a local on the phone, would be a good thing to do. But if not with me, to be able to find other people and other connections and sources of proactive and really good transformative meditative work. So I think, if not us, then who? And if not now, when? Okay? That's been said before. But let's begin the dance. We've already begun it, actually. Let's continue it. And let's do a committed kind of thing that will make a difference in the world. If we want economic structure and social structures change, to vibrate, and so we can vibrate as a species with this planet, let's now commit to some internal work. And I'm going to move now into the next video, which will delineate some transits that will motivate you. If you watch this video, I know you're taking some time out of your day to watch even one of these. But you owe it to yourself, and we owe it to each other, to do anything that we can to awaken ourselves to some positive rebirthing type of changes on this planet. Okay. Once again, thanks for watching. This is Joshua Hayward. Namaste and be well.